Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to be going over the Kuat NV 2.0 bike rack here on our 2022 Honda CR-V. So we have a couple different configurations for the NV 2.0. For starters, it's available in both a 2 and a 4 bike version. Now if you just want the 2 bikes for now, you can always add on that 2 bike add-on to have a total of 4 bikes in the future. Now in regards to color options, there's going to be 2 of those for the NV 2.0. We have the gunmetal gray, which is this one that we have here, and we also have a metallic black. So 2 options for the colors and then 2 options for your bike quantity. So this is what the NV 2.0 is going to look like on the back of your CR-V. Now for starters, the powder coating that Kuat uses is second to none. This stuff is really high quality, and if you ask me, it just looks great on the back of your vehicle. It certainly doesn't take away from the look of the vehicle at all. Now in regards to some of our clearances and vision, the back windshield there is going to be partially blocked by your handlebars and your seat post, but you can still see out the center section, and we obviously still have our mirrors on the well, so shouldn't be too many issues there. In regards to the backup camera, that's pretty much going to be blocked for no matter what bike rack or bikes we have on there, just to the location of it. So we are going to have to forego that feature mostly, but again, you're not really sacrificing any safety because we can still see out of our mirrors and most of our back windshield. So there's 2 types of bike racks on the market. We have the platform style, which is what this is, and we have the hanging style. Now the hanging style are great because they're usually pretty lightweight, so they're easier to get on and off the vehicle. But one of the big downsides to those is they're going to be not able to handle those heavy bikes. So if you have an e-bike like this, you're not going to be able to use that style of rack because they just simply can't support it. So in which case you'd want to look at the platform style. And something else where the platform style shines and the hanging style falls short is that it's going to be much easier to load your bikes onto a platform rack because we just have to pick them up about a foot or so, sit them in the tray, secure everything, and you're good to go. With a hanging style, you have to lift it up much higher and you have to sort of maneuver it back and forth there to sit it on the cradles. And if you have a bike with an alternative frame like this, it's not going to sit on there level. So overall, I would say the platform style is the best option out there just due to its wider compatibility with all different kinds of bikes. So we said that the platform style can carry heavier bikes, and that's no exception to the NV 2.0 here. In the 2 bike version, which was how we have it configured now, you're going to have a 60-pound per bike weight capacity. Now if you're only carrying 1 bike, make sure you carry it on the cradle closest to the vehicle. Now if we add the 2 bike add-on to have the 4 bike configuration, your weight capacity will reduce to 40 pounds per bike. So this bike rack is also a wheel mount style, meaning it secures here at the front wheel as opposed to the frame, and that's great for those really expensive bikes with carbon fiber frames where you don't want that contact. Now when we've arrived at the trails and we're ready to get our bike off, this is very easy. We're going to start by coming down here to the rear and undoing this. So here's our rear wheel strap. We've got that button there, we just press that. Then we will maneuver our strap out of position there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place 1 hand on the top tube of our bike. Make sure you have a hold of it before you undo the wheel hook. Press that button, lift out, tilt down, and now we can just lift up and off the vehicle. So one thing to point out with our wheel hoop here, this is a rubberized coating on the underside of that, which is really going to do a great job of helping grip the tire, and it's also not going to cause any damage as well. And then looking at the cradles here, you'll notice something unique about this because it has a couple different grooves here. So I wouldn't say we can carry some huge fat tire bikes, but you can definitely carry some beefy tired bikes here on this rack. In those road bikes, it has this nice little slot here, so it's going to sit in there nice and tight and it's not going to be bouncing around. And then on the sides of our trays here, you're going to see for each tray we have a built-in locking cable that you're going to wrap around your bikes, and that's going to secure your bikes to the rack there so you don't have to worry about someone coming up and taking off your expensive bikes. There's also going to be a hitch lock that uses the same keys as those cable locks. Therefore, not only are you not going to have to worry about people stealing your bikes, they're not going to be able to steal your rack either. So when we're not using our bike rack, this is obviously taking up a bunch of space now, which is not something we'd want if we were just driving around town. So what we can actually do with this rack here, we can actually tilt it up towards the vehicle like so, and it's going to lock in place right there. And this is going to drastically cut down on the overall length that the bike rack adds to your vehicle. Now, while we're in this position here, we can showcase another feature of this rack, and that's going to be our built-in bike repair stand. So that's what this thing is here on the top of the rack. We have a little handle there we're going to open. And we can pull this up, rotate it out to the position that we want to use it in, re-secure it. And now if we open this up here, you can just put your bike frame in there, secure it there, close it, lock it back in place, and now we have a nice stable and secure surface to make any needed repairs we should have with our bike. So a couple measurements here for you that are going to help you. What we're going to do first is we're going to measure from the back hatch to the outwardmost point of the rack while it's folded down. You're looking at about 34 inches, so you'll need to be aware of this if you park in a parking garage or you have a garage space that's pretty tight. Just make sure you have enough clearance there for your vehicle with the rack. But if not, and you take your bikes off, you can actually fold the upright up. And if we take a new measurement, you'll see we've cut down this distance drastically. So we're going to be measuring from the bottom of the shank here, you're looking at right about 18 inches. So this bike rack also has an anti-rattle mechanism built into the shank here, which is going to cut down of the movement of the rack inside the receiver tube, which is also going to in turn cut down the movement of your bikes on the rack. So this is just simply achieved by tightening this little knob here, which also makes for a tool-free installation. You don't need to worry about having a socket or anything with you in the vehicle to install and remove this rack.
This is our test course. Let's start with the slalom. This shows side-to-side action, such as turning corners or evasive maneuvering. Then, onto our alternating speed bumps. This shows twisting action, such as hitting curbs, potholes, road debris, or even uneven pavement. Last of all, the solid speed bumps. This shows up and down action, such as driving through a parking lot or parking garage, or driving in and out of a driveway.
And that's going to do it today for our look at the Kuat NV 2.0 bike rack here on a 2022 Honda CR-V.